spotlight. Okay, in that 10-minute period of time, it does not have to be exclusively about your business. You can personalize it any old way you want, and we can even make available for a PowerPoint presentation or off a laptop if you still desire to do that. I have no clue what Clifford's got in mind today. But these are our 10-minute spotlight guys. So Clifford, the floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I'll walk around and say something, right? With the central Plainton body, we have the collision repair and hail resist repair experts. And while I'm talking, I'll rearrange a little bit because it's going to be a show and tell kind of a thing. I got some stuff outside, I'm going to bring it in. Okay? Just give me a second. No, I got it. Thank you. Besides repairing cars and stuff like that, sometimes I entertain people. Okay? So this is what I started doing when I was, my mom told me I was 5 years old when one of my uncle was playing this, it's called tabla, it's a drum, Indian drums. And I was just sitting in front of it, and as soon as he finished playing and the thing was over, I hugged it and I said, this is mine. So my grandfather bought it for me. It was only $10 at that time. I'm talking about many years ago. So I'm going to play a little bit. There are so many different kind of, this is a rhythm, this is called tabla. This is the left baya, which is, this is steel, but they have different kinds. And then this is the cowhide they make, and you can tune it differently. This is the sound it makes, and if you want to make it higher, these are the levels that you can pull. And this is the dyna, which is makes different sound. I think I need to tune a little bit so it will sound a little better. So these, you push it down to make it go higher. So if you bear with me for a second. See, when you do this, it goes up and down. If it's not uniform, you don't get the sound. So there are so many different kinds of rhythm, and I'll just play one because we don't have enough time. But they are like 5 beats, 7 beats, 10 beats, 8 beats. 6 beats, so I'm going to play something with an 8 beat, okay? So if you want to, you can clap along with me. You play with the fingers, and this is sound, this is one sound, but if you press on it makes a different sound. This is the kind of sound you make, and then with this one, you can make this sound here. You can feel the difference. So there are several different, and I'm going to mix them up a little bit so you'll see the feel. So I've been playing since, what, 7 or 8 years old. And now I travel quite a bit on weekends and play in different places. Whenever somebody needs somebody like me, they call me and I do charge. Okay? And they pay for everything, staying in a hotel or whatever it is. So this is called taharba, which is 8 beat. Okay, like it goes something like this. With this one, you can, with a song or music or whatever, if somebody's playing the sitar, you've probably seen that or heard it with sitar or songs or something like that. It can change the style, the type, but keep the same rhythm. Okay. 6, 7, 8, 1, 2. And then you go from 4, 8 to 4 to 2, but you keep the same cycle. Okay, it's a cyclical. It's pretty cold. My hands are not warm yet. It takes a little while, but this is one type, and the other one I'm going to play is play with mostly classical music. Okay, it's 16 beat. This one, you will hear that one a lot. I cannot talk while I'm playing. And then you have the waltz that goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one, right? With this one, you can play. Same rhythm. So that's what I do when I'm not working at the shop. So we go different places, people call me, and sometimes I can do some rehearsals, but a lot of times you just go to the stage and then you just start playing with the person. You do talk to them, see what they're going to do, find out, because sometimes it can go two different ways, and that's not a good thing. So we visit a little bit and see what they're going to play, what kind of songs they're going to play. So that's what we do. And my wife, actually, before a concert, I practice a little bit because you don't have enough time to practice every day. I used to practice 6 to 8 hours a day in Bangladesh when I was coming up. So once I came here, study and all this thing, I couldn't do a whole lot. But before the program, I practiced maybe a day or two. My wife is really nice and she pushes me, goes, Clifford, there's a program coming up, you got to practice. I didn't see you practicing. What are you going to do? I said, well, I'll wing it. I'll wing it, but I do have to practice. And weather has to do a lot. These, I treasure them. I don't take it out as much, but you have to keep it in a certain temperature. Otherwise, these things, iron filings, if this comes off, then it's dead. I cannot do anything with it. So I have about 16 pairs because I teach also. So I've got several students. So I'm enjoying it. Life is for living, right?
Right.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Jane, you have a question?
Yeah, are those goat skin?
Huh? Oh, these are cow hides.
Cow, okay.
Yeah, cow hides. These are the strongest ones. They're thick. These are pretty thin. And it takes about a week to 2 weeks to make each one. They have a several. So this is a trunk of a tree that is hollowed out. And then it takes about a month for seasoning it. In the water, they season it. And then after that, you dry it. And then you do, I have got some that are already cracked because of the temperature. And sometimes I take it and leave it in the car and then come back and forget about it, and then that's what happens. And these are typically about $300 to $400 a pair. So it's not too bad, but it gets expensive after a while.
Linda, you have a question?
Yeah, tell me the name of those slowly again. What are they?
It's Tabla, tabla. Yeah, tabla. It's an Indian percussion music. So, and there are so many different kinds. You find these a smaller one, bigger one, and I've got a couple of different kinds because when you do the concert, sometimes I play 3, 4 of them at a time, okay, to make different sound, the effect, because this really augments the singing, the music, whatever somebody's playing, because rhythm you have to have. Others, without the rhythm, if you play, Seth probably can testify to this, without rhythm, you cannot really enjoy the song or music, whatever it is you're playing. So that's very crucial. and I enjoy it. I had a concert about 2 weeks ago. I have been babying my fingers. I play volleyball. I didn't play for 2 weeks, and I was going to change a battery for a car, and it fell on my finger. I've got a little boo-boo, but I taped it, and it was hard, but I went through the crucial pain, and I played it anyway.
Okay,
So,
do you buy those in the States, or do you have to buy them?
no, it's India, Bangladesh, Pakistan. Those are the 3 different places. There is a place in Ali Akbar Khan Institute in California, very expensive. So whenever I go to Bangladesh or India visit, I always bring the drums with me. That's the first thing I do. I go, I know where to go. I go, find it, I buy it, and I keep it so I don't forget, or I don't have time. At the last minute, you're running around and you don't have time. So that's the first thing I do, and I don't let anybody touch it. Somebody tried to play a lady with the fingernail. She did that, and I held her, and she got so scared. I said, I'm sorry, because this might go through. And if it does that, then it's gone. I cannot replace it here. I have to take it to India, and it costs too much to take it there and repair it and then bring it back. So, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Well, as you can tell, the 10-minute spotlight is totally up to you what you want to do. Entertain us all you want. If that's what you're trying to do. Different, but thank you, Clifford. Very enlightening for sure. Now, if I remember correctly, Gene, you have a next. Gene has a spotlight next.
We have a sponsor who's going to be next week.
Excellent.
So,
That's good.
but there is the 19th.
Yeah.
That's the last one we'll have.
I think it's better for me.
Okay, that's fine.
Then it's the next week.
Awesome. Okay. Let's move on here. Are there any other community announcements going on in the next like 30-day window that would be of benefit to anybody in the area? Obviously, we talked about the interest in the park tonight. Christie?
Country Reserve, Wiley, they're having their big annual pottery, well, semi-annual pottery sale, and that's going from 9 to 2, so that should be a lot of fun and really good on that organization. And then Wiley Arts Festival is going on as well, and that's at Wiley's Baptist Event Center. And downtown Valley Street is at pop-up shops and events as well.
If there's anything else, I don't think you may be done business with that. Sure.
I'd like to say, thanks, Sadie, for my car has this problem, and what comes on the wall. And makes me feel sick. So, I'd like to thank them for that. And I'd like to thank Bobby and Linda and their business.
I want to say that I hired Sherry's husband to keep my niece's computer, and he does an excellent job.
Yeah. Thank you for hiring me for some cupcakes, and thank you, Howard, for getting set up with the bell. Thank you.
I cannot thank enough the city board guys. Every time we get a pinch, and we do almost every week or every other week. Hey, you know, especially we call on Terry answers and Terry, I got to have this done today. Clifford, I don't know if you can, if you're busy, but bring it in anyway. You bring it in and we work it in, and we really appreciate it.
Great. Awesome.
I just wanted to comment, Clifford actually took the stage at Spring Fever, and I'm sure his hands were much fuller. I don't know how he managed to get the sound out, but he did, and that was the first time we heard that, and it was really, really good. So thanks for sharing that with the group. And I did want to make one comment I left out. So December 19th will be, so we'll have 12th next week, Jenny will be spotlight. The 19th will be the last card exchange of the year. Then we take a couple weeks off and then come back in January, and I'll make sure I give you that date. But we're trying to do something a little special. I don't know yet, but I will announce it next week. So if you are not here next week, make sure you check that email that I send every Wednesday about the card exchange, so that way you know what we're actually going to be doing. I'm not going to say anything yet, but I'll confirm it with you next week. Usually try to do something different, holiday-ish, the last Thursday.
You just stole my thunder. I social hour kind of thing. We got some ideas in mind that we want everybody kind of to share. We'll share that with you later. Okay. We got 2 giveaways. Hopefully, as remember, your business card is in here, and we will see who our winners are.
The first one is for the $50 gift certificate, save more on phone.
Rick. Then we have
Now we have a special ed, filming.
Art. Little crackers.
It's more Cowboys tickets.
All right, we're done. Looks like we got 2 minutes left. Nobody's gonna chase us down here tonight. Anyway, feel free to mingle, get to know each other better. Looks like there's still some breakfast snacks. Your coffee probably left, so hope to see you next Thursday at Back Center, maybe tonight at the Christmas in the Park. I will be there. Thank you all for. Yeah, what's your business card?